What is up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Hammerstack and today we're going to give you my final review here of the Oppo Find N3. Of course, this is the bigger brother to the N3 Flip, a phone that I actually did enjoy a lot as my daily driver, and of course been having the privilege of using this phone for the past 1 month as my daily driver as well. And I do want to share with you some of my thoughts and my opinions. And normally I like to break it down into 4 main segments over here, and we are going to look at this phone into 2 main differentiating factors over here. The first part is the foldable form and also the unfoldable side of things. So yes, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So now we're going to look at this phone at 2 perspectives here, the foldable side of things and also the unfoldable side of things, because as a phone as itself, I think it functions really well, but when we talk about the foldable properties over here, that is where it gets a little bit tricky. So the first point I want to talk about here is of course the build and design. And what I can say about this phone is that it feels super premium indeed. I really like the leather that we have on the back here. It does give it a very nice premium touch to it, and also the huge camera bumps over there makes it look like a very high-end premium phone. So yes, the price does come in at about 8,000 ringgit, which is about 1,900 USD. That's a very steep price, but of course you can get a very good quality phone overall. And what I like about this phone a lot is of course the fact that when you are using it in the foldable side of things over here, when you're folding this phone, it actually feels very nice in hand, and it feels very comfortable, like you're holding a single phone. It doesn't feel like 2 phones put together, giving you that extra bulk, that extra weight to it. And I do like the ratio that they have given us with this phone, which I really do like. I did compare this to my phone like the S23 Ultra, and to be honest, that one there with a case is actually the size of this phone without a case. So actually this phone here feels very nice. It doesn't really feel out of place, and I really like how it generally feels in my hand. Of course, that's what she said. So what I can say about this is that other than that, the button layout has been really nice. It's much better than the Find N3 Flip. It's easier for me to reach the power button and also the fingerprint scanner, and of course you want to reach it to the volume rockers as well, and also the alert slider. Everything is very convenient. Of course, another thing that I do need to talk about here is of course the fact that this phone here does kind of hinge at the middle. And on the outer appearance over here, I do like when you're opening this up, it does have a very flat design, so it gives you a very good kind of distribution over here. And also if you're opening it, that crease down the center doesn't look too obvious at all. And when I'm trying to close up my phone over here, it doesn't have that extra kind of U-shaped design or something like that. It feels very nice, very flat there. Not much of gaps that can go through between the spaces of these 2 displays over here. And that hinge mechanism, it feels very sturdy, very rough. I mean, not I would say rough. It feels very sturdy and also very solid. And of course you can play at different angles here because it does give you a lot of resistance to this as well. So you can prop this up, especially it helps a lot when you're trying to take photos or videos and you don't have a phone stand. So that kind of hinge mechanism over here works really nice. So with that being said, for the holding experience of this category, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Now let's move on to the viewing experience over here, and this will cover the display, the speakers, and also the haptics on this. Overall, the haptics on this has been really good. I played a lot of games on this and it feels very nice and premium indeed. When we talk about the display, again, when we're talking about the outer display here, it works really nice. The extra brightness, 2400 nits, the 120 Hz display, the AMOLED, all works really nice. And of course, I was a little bit worried whether the display on the outside would be able to kind of complement the display on the inside. And what I can say about this is that it feels really nice, because once you open it, you're not missing out on a lot of things. You get the same exact color, you get the same exact color calibration, the brightness, and also all that pixel goodness. You're going to get it with the inner display as well. So you're not going to miss out a lot, especially if you're just going to try to transition between the outer to the inner display. One thing I want to mention here, again, this is where the software side of things will come out, is of course the apps that go on to the extra ratio here, the extra full screen. Not a lot of apps actually do that, which is quite disappointing. You can of course force it in the settings over here, but it doesn't really feel natural. It only just feels like a phone that is actually being stretched down, rather being a foldable software here, which is a little bit disappointing. But what I like about this is that when you're watching contents like your Netflix or your Hulu, your Disney Plus and all that shows, I've been watching a lot of Loki, been finishing up the series, I like that extra display. Even with a huge phone you're going to find out there in 2023, you're not going to be able to get very good display over here. But with this foldable phone here, it does give you that extra versatility when you want to watch your content. And what I like about this phone again is the speakers. So we have two on the bottom here and also two on the top as well. So when you're watching content, depending on how you're holding it, whether you're playing games or whatsoever, you might cover one of the speakers, but you still have the other speakers working around. And of course, if you are able to hold it with one hand and not block out the speakers, that's where the full immersive sound experience would be very good for your ears. So I do enjoy watching content here. I like even hearing and listening to music and watching my movies on this as well. And also not to mention that I really do like the ratio on the outside here. So when I'm just using the phone on the outer display, which I do most of the time, I didn't really need to open up my display too many times, so I can enjoy most of my stuff on the outside because we have a very good ratio. This is almost a very flagship level phone display anyway. So when I'm just doing my normal stuff, I don't really feel the need to open up my phone too much, which would help also in the hinge mechanism. And I do about, I would say 70% of the time, just use the outer display. So for the display on this has been really good, and for that, the viewing experience I would give on this is a solid 8 out of 10. So now we're going to talk about the user experience that comes with this phone. So this will cover the hardware, the software, and also the battery life on this. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So if we talk about it as a normal phone, I can say that all three of these things that I mentioned are working really good. We have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, and that would mean very good speeds and also that fluidness. And also if you couple that with the display as well, it works just all very nice. Battery life on this also has been really amazing. I think for a foldable phone here, it's one of the best you can get in 2023 in terms of any flagship phone level over here. And of course, if you want to talk about the software experience, if you guys have used any Oppo phones, it feels very nice and also feels very much at home. So you won't really miss out too much when it comes to that software experience. And I would say when it comes to charging as well, I do miss out on the wireless charging that I would get on like maybe other phones. But I do like the 67-watt charger over here. It works really fast. We also have the optimized charging at night as well. So overall, it's a very good package. But how does it translate when you're using it in the unfoldable side of things? And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because over here, what I am a little bit disappointed with this is that certain apps, like I mentioned before, doesn't really work in the full screen mode, and sometimes it doesn't work when you're using in the split screen, because most of the time people want to use a foldable phone to do a lot of multitasking. So not all apps are optimized as of now when it comes to the split screen here. So you are only able to choose either one or the other app to appear more on your display when you want to use it side by side with each other. I did wish that they've added a little bit more versatility, or even in their labs or something like that, they can just add a little bit more of the apps into it to kind of force it to go into the split screen here, which would be amazing, because I have a huge display and I do want to use more of it in my everyday tasks. So if I want to use like Facebook, Instagram, and maybe I just want to watch YouTube as well, or maybe I'll go on to Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, or TikTok, or sometimes I just want to go through my emails again. I just want to have it there instead of having a bubble pop up. So again, this is where the software thing isn't really too fully optimized on this. Yes, I do understand that this is the third version of this, and I do hope that in future generations here, we will have a little bit more, just a little bit of some upgrades when it comes to their software side of things here, because I think it's really done really well. I think they have already made a lot of improvements on this, and it feels like a proper foldable phone, but I think that they can have still a little bit more of some upgrades here. And of course, there will be some bugs that comes with this phone that will actually ask you to restart the app when you're switching in between the outer and inner display. Stuff like my Shopee, Lazada, and certain other things, like if I'm using from the outer to inner or inner to outer, the app, you know, just gets a little bit haywire in there, and it would make you kind of restart the app to make it function properly. So those are the things that you would need to consider when you're getting this foldable phone. So with that being said, For the software experience and the whole user experience on the Find N3, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. So last but not least, let us talk about the camera experience on this phone. So here we have 3 sets of cameras. On the outer we have the triple camera main lens over here, and it does give you very good sharp images. And also when it comes to the selfie department here, we have 2 options. We have one on the outer display and also one on the inner display over here. Most of the time when it comes to the inner display, I barely even use it, but I think it's really helpful if you guys are into a lot of your kind of Google Meets or whatsoever, where you kind of need to prop this up, but also use the selfie camera as well, which also does work really nice. I do like the 2 selfie cameras that we have here. It wouldn't be the best, I would say, but you know, you still get very good camera setups over here, and images does come out really nice. When you talk about the rear cameras over here, I really like the images here, and when it comes to night mode as well, video, I do, and actually I am quite impressed with the shots that I've taken in my 1 month of usage here. I will of course share with you some of my images that I've taken over some time, and let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the cameras here. And of course, I really like the versatility when it comes to the cameras. I wouldn't say it's the same as the Find N3 Flip, which you can use the rear cameras or your selfie shoot over here, but it is what it is, and I gotta say I'm actually really liking the cameras here. So camera experience on this, I will give it a solid 7 out of 10. So that is it with my Oppo Find N3 review here. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this, because all of these are just my thoughts and my opinions. Feel free to leave yours in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, do click the like and smash the subscribe button. And of course, if you guys want to follow me more, you can do so on my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube at Dr. Hammer's Tech. So that is it. This is Dr. Hammer's Tech. Stay safe, take care, and wash those hands.